Noong gabi ng Agosto 8, 2024, sa isang luxury hotel suite sa Bonifacio Global City, nakaupo si JIMUEL Pacquiao, 24 years old, panganay na anak ng boxing legend na si Manny Pacquiao, nanonood ng Instagram stories habang nag-scroll through ng kanyang feed. Pagkatapos ng mahaba at nakaka-exhaust na araw ng photoshoot para sa isang local clothing brand, bigla niyang nakita ang post na magpapabago ng lahat. Ang kanyang half-brother na si Emman Bakosa, 28 years old, nakapost sa isang professional photoshoot wearing expensive Swatch watches, surrounded by executives ng Swiss watch company. Ang backdrop ay high-end studio with perfect lighting. Ang overall production value ay obviously major campaign level. Ang caption ay clear at masakit. Swatch welcomes Emman Bakosa as our newest brand ambassador for the Philippines. Proud to partner with this inspiring young man who represents the values of hard work, authenticity, and resilience. Together we'll bring Swiss excellence to Filipino hearts. Swatch PH, Emman Bakosa, Brand Ambassador, Swiss Quality, New Beginnings. Si JIMUEL ay nag-freeze completely. Ang hininga ay huminto. Ang kamay ay nanginig habang hawak ang phone, na biglang naging mabigat. Parang yung device mismo ay nag-carry ng weight ng betrayal na nararamdaman niya. Emman, ang lalaking rejected ng pamilya nila for years, ang half-brother na hindi man lang officially recognized ni Manny publicly hanggang recently, ang taong walang formal training sa showbiz, walang established career sa entertainment industry, walang portfolio ng professional modeling work, siya ang napili ng Swatch, a prestigious Swiss watch brand with over 70 years of history. Bilang brand ambassador instead of him, si JIMUEL Pacquiao, na lumaki sa constant spotlight, na may hundreds of thousands of followers across social media platforms, na aktibong nagmodel for various brands for years, na may connections sa lahat ng major advertising agencies. Bakit siya lang? Sigaw ni JIMUEL, binato ang cellphone sa king-size bed. Ang galit ay sumisingaw mula sa bawat pore ng kanyang katawan. Ang muka ay namumula. Ang kamao ay nakakulot ready to punch something. Hindi niya matanggap. Lahat ng buhay niya ay naging second fiddle sa crushing expectations ng pagiging anak ni Pacman at ngayon even sa endorsements, sa supposedly his own territory of modeling and brand partnerships, ay natalo pa siya ng kapatid na technically hindi dapat kalaban. Ng taong supposedly mas mababa ang posisyon sa family hierarchy. At ang tanong na bumabagabag sa kanya ngayon ay simple pero devastating. Bakit ang mundo ay mas interested sa underdog story ni Emman kaysa sa legacy story niya? At ang sagot sa tanong na yon ay maglalantad ng uncomfortable truths tungkol sa authenticity versus privilege, relatability versus pedigree, at kung ano talaga ang value ng pangalan versus value ng character sa modern social media-driven endorsement landscape. Kumusta mga kaibigan? Bago tayo magsimula sa absolutely explosive at controversial na kwento tungkol kay JIMUEL Pacquiao at ang kanyang matinding reaksyon nang malaman na si Emman Bakosa ang naging brand ambassador ng Swatch instead of him, gusto ko munang malaman kung nasaan kayo ngayon nanonood ng video na ito. Komenta sa baba at sabihin sa akin, taga saan kayo? Manila ba? Quezon City? Makati? Cebu City? Davao City? Baguio? Iloilo, General Santos na hometown ng Pacquiao family, Cagayan de Oro, Zamboanga, o baka nasa abroad kayo, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Canada, United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Japan. Gusto kong malaman kung saan kayo dahil ang istoryang ito ay tungkol sa very real at very relatable na sibling rivalry, sa jealousy na nafe-feel kahit ng pinaka-successful na tao, sa insecurity na hindi nawawala kahit may privilege ka, at tungkol sa kung paano ang success ng iba ay nakakasakit, lalo na pag ang taong yun ay dapat ay mas mababa sa ranking mo sa pamilya structure based purely on legitimacy at birthright. Ito ay real talk tungkol sa Pacquiao family dynamics na rarely nakikita ng public. Tungkol sa pressure ng being a celebrity kid na laging kailangan mag-live up to impossible standards. At tungkol sa harsh reality na minsan ang authenticity at relatability ay nananalo over privilege at pedigree sa modern era ng social media at brand partnerships. Kaya mag-subscribe na kayo sa channel, i-on ang notification bell para updated kayo sa latest celebrity stories, Mag-like ng video na ito para ma-boost ang algorithm at i-share ito sa mga kaibigan ninyong mahilig sa celebrity tea na may actual substance at depth, hindi yung puro chismis lang without context. Simulan na natin ang kwento. Si JIMUEL Pacquiao ay ipinanganak noong February 1, 2000 sa General Santos City, South Cotabato, Mindanao, sa panahong si Manny Pacquiao ay nag-transition na mula sa rising boxing star tungo sa bona fide international superstar na kinikilala na hindi lang sa Asia kundi sa buong mundo. Ang kanyang pagsilang ay considered as major event. National news coverage from all major networks, politicians from local to national level sending congratulations, fans from all over the Philippines celebrating na may heir na ang pambansang kamao, may successor na sa legacy. Lumaki si JIMUEL sa privilege na hindi niya hiningi pero automatic na natanggap dahil lang sa dugo na dumadaloy sa ugat niya. Private schools with tuition na equivalent to average Filipinos' annual salary. International vacations to destinations na most Filipinos could only dream of. Disneyland, Europe, Japan. Designer clothes from brands na hindi available sa regular stores. VIP treatment kahit saan. Restaurants giving best tables. Stores offering special discounts. Events providing backstage access. Pero ang privilege na yon ay may kasamang tremendous crushing pressure na hindi nakikita ng outsiders looking in. Mula pagkabata, even as young as 5 or 6 years old, ang expectations ay overwhelming. Yan ang anak ni Pacquiao, sigurado talented din yan. Magiging boxer din ba yan paglaki? Dapat mag-excel yan sa lahat ng ginagawa. Hindi pwedeng maging normal lang na bata. Hindi pwedeng mag-fail sa kahit anong subject sa school. Hindi pwedeng maging average sa sports or academics. Kailangan exceptional lagi, outstanding lagi, remarkable lagi. Ang pressure na yan para sa bata na gusto lang actually maging normal kid ay psychologically damaging in ways na hindi niya fully ma-articulate until much older. Si JIMUEL ay sinubukan ang boxing nung teenager, obviously. Paano naman hindi? Ang tatay ay arguably the greatest Filipino boxer of all time. Possibly greatest Asian boxer ever, definitely one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing history. 8-division world champion, national hero, icon. Pero mabilis na natuklasan ni JIMUEL na hindi siya kagaya ng ama niya in the most fundamental way. Walang natural killer instinct na kailangan sa ring. Walang appetite para sa violence, para sa pain, para sa brutal physicality ng professional boxing. Mas comfortable siya sa fashion, sa music, sa creative pursuits, sa things that involved aesthetics rather than aggression. Pero paano mo sasabihin sa mundo? At more importantly, paano mo sasabihin sa legend na tatay mo na ayaw mong maging katulad niya? Na ang dream niya para sa'yo ay hindi ang dream mo para sa sarili mo? Kaya nag-try pa rin siya for years, training half-heartedly under coaches hired by Manny, doing exhibition matches na heavily promoted by promotional teams pero ultimately meaningless, sparring with opponents na deliberately matched para hindi masyadong mahirap. Eventually, by 18 years old, quietly nag-stop na lang siya. Walang official announcement, walang press conference, just faded away from boxing. At ang media ay kind enough, or maybe complicit enough in protecting Pacquiao brand, na hindi i-push ang narrative ng anak ni Pacquiao ay failure sa boxing. Instead, nag-pivot ang story into more palatable version. JIMUEL Pacquiao pursues modeling and entertainment career, following different path from father. Kaya nag-focus si JIMUEL sa modeling at social media influencer work. May physical advantages naman siya, height na 5'11", which is above average for Filipino males, decent facial features enhanced by access to best dermatologists at dentists, obviously may unlimited budget, para sa best grooming, styling, personal training, nutritionists. Nag-build ng Instagram following. Currently nasa 400,000 followers. Respectable number, pero not exceptional compared to other celebrity offspring. Posted carefully curated content. Gym photos showing fit physique na maintained through personal trainers. Travel content from international trips to exotic locations. Fashion photos wearing designer brands na gifted or bought. Occasional family photos with Manny na laging nag-viral dahil sa star power ng tatay. Did some modeling work para sa local brands, clothing lines, cologne, accessories. Appeared sa some TV shows as guest, though never landed major acting role. Dated high-profile girls na din na feature sa tabloids, adding to his visibility. Basically, naging typical celebrity offspring. Visible, privileged, living comfortable lifestyle, but not particularly remarkable or exceptional beyond the famous surname. At dun papasok ang deep knowing insecurity na hindi mawala kahit anong gawin niya. Kasi si JIMUEL sa kabila ng lahat ng advantages ay painfully aware na ang majority ng attention na natatanggap niya ay dahil sa tatay niya, hindi dahil sa sariling achievements or talent or charisma. Walang major accomplishment na purely his own na pwede niyang i-point out at sabihing, I did this independently. Walang talent na undeniably exceptional na nag-stand out separate from family name. Walang career breakthrough na independent from the Pacquiao brand recognition. At alam niya yon. At mas masakit alam ng iba yon. May comments palagi sa social media, sa YouTube, sa Twitter, sa Facebook. Sarap ng buhay pag anak ka ni Pacquiao, no? Privileged kid na walang ginawa kundi ipanganak sa tamang pamilya. Famous for being famous. What has he actually achieved on his own? At kahit delete niya constantly ang negative comments, nababasa niya pa rin bago ma-delete at tumatak permanently sa consciousness niya. At nag-fester, nag-grow into deeper insecurity about worth at identity. Tapos dumating si Emman Bakosa sa public consciousness at everything got infinitely more complicated. Ang backstory ni Emman ay controversial, messy, at extremely painful para sa Pacquiao family, particularly para kay Jinky at sa kanyang mga biological children. Result siya ng isang relationship ni Manny during a particularly difficult period sa marriage niya with Jinky during one of their separations where Manny was involved with Emman's mother. Hindi legitimate child technically under Philippine law kasi hindi sila kasal ng mother niya. Hindi pinalaki directly ni Manny. Grew up with biological mother na nag-struggle financially, working multiple jobs para buhayin ang anak. Only recently, around 2021-2022, na-acknowledge publicly ni Manny after years ng persistent rumors, tabloid speculation, at eventually DNA test confirmation na hiniling ng media at demanded by public curiosity. Ang buong situation ay messy, scandalous, uncomfortable for everyone involved, at initially, naturally, ang Pacquiao family, particularly si Jinky who was the wronged wife, at ang kanyang mga biological children including JIMUEL, ay resistant sa idea ng accepting Eman as part of the family. Hindi siya parte ng amin. Product ng infidelity. Why should we embrace him at para bang okay lang yung nangyari? Pero si Emman, despite the extremely difficult circumstances ng kanyang origin story, despite growing up without father figure, without financial support, without name recognition, ay nag-prove ng sarili niya through actions rather than complaints. Hindi siya nag-demand aggressively ng recognition or financial support, hindi siya nag-file ng public lawsuits, hindi siya nag-appear sa tabloid TV shows to air grievances. Instead, nag-work siya ng legitimate jobs, construction, sales, whatever was available. Nag-pursue ng education kahit paano. Built his own modest but dignified life. Nung finally na-acknowledge siya publicly ni Manny around 2021-2022, after years ng denial, ang public reaction ay surprisingly, overwhelmingly positive. Sympathy para sa underdog na lumaki, without advantages. Admiration para sa grace at dignity niya, despite rejection at neglect. At gradually, carefully, nagdevelop ang public persona ni Emman, the other Pacquiao son, the humble one, the one who worked hard despite not having any advantages, the resilient survivor. At dun nagsimula ang unconscious, unspoken competition. Si JIMUEL ang legitimate heir with all imaginable advantages from birth. Si Emman ang illegitimate half-brother with multiple disadvantages but increasingly compelling narrative. At sa social media age kung saan authenticity ay valued more than pedigree, kung saan relatability ay more marketable than privilege, ang narrative ay slowly, steadily shifting in Emman's favor. Comments comparing them directly. Si Emman mas humble, si JIMUEL parang mayabang. Si JIMUEL parang spoiled, si Emman parang grounded sa reality. Prefer ko si Emman, May substance ang buhay, may real story. At ang comparisons na yon, kahit arguably unfair kasi different circumstances naman talaga, ay sumasakit deeply kay JIMUEL. Nagsimula siyang mag-resent si Eman. Not openly, hindi pwede, terrible optics yon, would make him look even worse. Pero internally, ang jealousy ay nag-build up, nag-accumulate, waiting for trigger to explode. At ngayon, sa August 8, 2024, ang jealousy na yon ay nag-explode into full, uncontrolled rage triggered by single Instagram post. Kasi ang SWATCH endorsement ay hindi lang simple na endorsement deal. This was major, prestigious contract. Swiss watch brand with international recognition, 70+ years of history, associated with quality at innovation. Multi-million peso contract probably, with potential for renewal at expansion. At ang selection process ay clearly deliberate. They actively chose Eman specifically, deliberately, intentionally, over other obvious options, including JIMUEL, na supposedly mas established sa modeling at endorsements, na may existing portfolio, na may proven track record. At ang reason given sa press release ay brutally clear. Inspiring young man who represents values of hard work, authenticity, and resilience. Hard work. Authenticity. Resilience. Ang exact qualities na alam ni JIMUEL sa most honest part ng consciousness niya na questionable or lacking sa sarili niya pero obviously strong, even exceptional, kay Eman based sa life story niya. At ang public rejection na yon, kasi essentially yan ang ibig sabihin ng choosing Eman over him despite his advantages, ay devastating sa fragile ego niya. At habang nakaupo siya alone sa hotel suite na yon, staring sa ceiling na parang may sagot dun, ang isip niya ay nag-erase uncontrollably with thoughts na toxic pero human, understandable pero destructive. Ako dapat yun. Ako ang legit na anak. Ako ang may proper training, connections, exposure. Bakit siya? Just because may sad backstory siya? Just because underdog siya? Bullshit. Life isn't a fucking movie where underdogs always win. Being legitimate should count for something. Being the actual acknowledged son should matter. At ang naisip niyang next move, fueled by hurt pride at wounded ego, ay dark pero predictable given his emotional state. Kailangan niyang gawing public ang resentment niya in a way na defensible kung ma-call out. Kailangan niyang i-undermine subtly ang achievement ni Eman, without looking obviously petty to casual observers. Kailangan niya i-reclaim ang spotlight na nasnatch ni Eman through whatever means necessary. Pero ang tanong ay paano? At ang sagot na naisip niya, influenced by anger at hurt, ay magiging series ng social media posts at actions na magli-lead sa massive public family drama na magtre-trend nationwide for days. Magfo-force kay Manny Pacquiao na pumili publicly between protecting ang feelings ng legitimate son versus publicly supporting ang achievement ng illegitimate son. At ang choice na yon ay magre-reveal kung ano talaga ang values ng Pacquiao family beyond ang carefully crafted public image ng unity at forgive. NS. Si JIMUEL ay hindi nakatulog ng maayos that entire night. Nag-toss and turn siya sa expensive hotel bed na dapat comfortable pero feeling like torture device. Ang utak ay hindi mapakali, racing with thoughts, arguments, rebuttals, imagined confrontations. By 3 a.m., frustrated at wanting outlet para sa emotions, nag-decide na siyang mag-compose ng Instagram story. Carefully worded para may plausible deniability. Vague enough na pwedeng i-deny later na about Eman specifically, pero obvious enough para maintindihan ng mga tao kung sino talaga ang target. Nag-type siya, delete, retype, revise multiple times. Interesting how some people get big opportunities handed to them based on trendy sob stories rather than actual qualifications, experience, or hard work. But hey, that's showbiz and marketing, I guess. Narrative over substance. Your reality, or no shade, you're just saying our truth. Bago mag-post, nag-pause siya, finger hovering over post button. Alam niya consciously na this would start something significant. Alam niya na ang mama niya si Jinky ay magsusupport probably kasi naturally protective siya ng biological children niya over Eman. May lingering resentment pa rin about the whole infidelity situation. Pero alam din niyang ang tatay niya, si Manny, ay magdi-disapprove strongly kasi si Manny ay nag-work hard recently, past few years, to publicly acknowledge at support si Eman, part ng redemption arc niya for past mistakes, part ng being better person at attempting to make amends. Posting this publicly ay guaranteed magkakos family tension na visible to millions of followers. Pero ang pride at deeply wounded ego ni JIMUEL ay nag-overcome completely ang rational judgment at long-term thinking. Posted niya. Then deliberately turned off phone at pinilit sarili na matulog, knowing na bukas ay chaos. Kinabukasan ng umaga, nag-wake up siya past 10 a.m. sa dozens upon dozens ng missed calls at hundreds of messages. Binuksan niya ang phone with dread at nakita na ang story niya, despite being posted at 3 a.m., ay nag-viral massively. Screenshots everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, tabloid websites. Twitter trending topics, Ari JIMUEL Pacquiao, at time, Emman Bakosa, both on national trends. Multiple articles already published by entertainment websites. JIMUEL Pacquiao throws shade at half-brother Eman. Pacquiao family drama unfolds publicly on social media. Is JIMUEL jealous of Eman's success? Ang comment section everywhere ay divided sharply. Some supported JIMUEL. He has a valid point though. Eman is riding on the Pacquiao name kahit di naman siya tunay na recognized before. Si JIMUEL ang legitimate, dapat priority. Totoo naman, puro sympathy vote lang si Eman. Others attacked him viciously. Bitter much? Your half-brother earned this through his inspiring story. You're just jealous na may better narrative siya than you. Privileged kid can't handle someone else getting attention for once. Ang yaman-yaman mo na, di ka pa content. Pathetic. At may one message na standout, na nag-cause ng anxiety spike from Jinky, ang mama niya. JIMUEL, tama ba to? Bakit ka nag-post ng ganyan publicly? Tumawag na si papa mo kanina, galit na galit. He wants you to delete it and apologize immediately. Call me ASAP. Seryoso to. Si JIMUEL felt literal nausea sa stomach. Tumawag siya immediately kay Jinky. Ma, nakita mo na? Oo naman, nakita ko. Lahat nakita. Nag-viral na within hours. Ang papa mo ay demanding na mag-apologize ka publicly. Sinasabi niya na embarrassing daw yung ginawa mo, na parang bitter at immature daw dating, na bad for family image. Pero ma, totoo naman yung sinabi ko. Hindi ba unfair? Bakit siya ang napili ng SWATCH? I have actual experience, portfolio, following. Ako dapat naturally. Anak, I understand your feelings. Between us privately, I agree with your sentiment. Si Eman ay hindi naman talaga part ng core family natin. Product siya ng mistake ng papa mo. Pero publicly, kailangan natin maging strategic, maging careful sa image. Ang papa mo ay very sensitive sa topic na yan precisely because guilty siya about the whole situation with Eman. At ayaw niyang mukha siyang bad father sa public eye, ayaw niyang mag-trend for wrong reasons. So ano, mag-apologize na lang ako? Kunin ko na lang yung pride ko at pretend na okay lang lahat? Anak, sometimes kailangan natin mag-strategic para sa long term. Delete mo yung post now. Mag-issue ng vague apology, yung typical na emotions got the best of me. I apologize if I hurt anyone. Ganon. Then privately, we work on getting you better endorsements to prove your worth. To show na competitive ka pa rin. Okay? Trust me on this. Si JIMUEL, frustrated pero understanding ang logic, agreed reluctantly. Deleted ang story. Posted new story within the hour. Apologies if my previous post was misunderstood or caused hurt. I was dealing with some personal frustrations, and emotions got the best of me. Nothing but love and respect for my family. All of them. We're all trying to make our own way. Your family. Moving forward. Pero ang damage ay tapos na, irreversible. Ang screenshots ay permanent, circulating continuously. At ang narrative ay firmly set in public consciousness. JIMUEL the bitter, privileged, legitimate son versus Eman the gracious, humble underdog. At ang worst part, ang most painful twist, si Eman responded publicly within hours, sa own Instagram, at ang response ay masterstroke ng public relations, whether intentional or genuinely sincere. Posted siya, woke up to some unexpected drama and mentions. To my Kuya JIMUEL, I understand completely if you're hurt or upset about opportunities that come my way. This endorsement, this partnership with Swatch, is not about competing with you or anyone else in the family. It's just an opportunity that came to me that I'm deeply grateful for. I believe there's room for all of us to succeed and find our own paths. I hope we can talk privately soon, face to face, and work through whatever issues or misunderstandings there might be. At the end of the day, family is what matters most. Love you, bro. Ang post na yan? Absolutely perfect sa optics. Made Emman look mature, gracious, family-oriented, understanding, bigger person. Made JIMUEL look petty, immature, bitter by direct comparison. Ang comments overwhelmingly, almost unanimously praised Emman. This is pure class. See the difference between someone raised with struggle versus someone raised with privilege? Emman is clearly the better man here, the better character. JIMUEL should learn from his younger brother. This is how you handle conflict, with grace and maturity. Si JIMUEL read those comments, hundreds of them, at nagboil ang blood niya to dangerous levels. Hindi fair ang lahat nito. Lahat ng buhay niya, supposedly advantages niya, ay naging disadvantage sa modern perception. Born into privilege? That's automatically against him now, automatic negative. Legitimate son? That apparently doesn't matter, irrelevant detail. May proper training at exposure? Considered less valuable than authentic struggle. At ang ultimate kicker, ang cruelest irony, si Emman ay nag-gain pa ng significantly more sympathy, publicity, at positive coverage from this whole manufactured drama. Ang Swatch brand engagement metrics ay nag-skyrocket based on controversy. Multiple interviews requested with Emman about handling family conflict with grace and maturity. Potential additional endorsement offers reportedly coming in for Emman from brands wanting to associate with his increasingly authentic and inspirational image. Meanwhile, si JIMUEL, branded widely as bitter-spoiled brat. Privileged kid who can't handle competition, immature, insecure. Some of his existing smaller endorsements ay nag-reach out with concerns about his public image affecting their brand. His follower count growth completely stalled, flatlining. Some followers even actively unfollowed, his count dropping by few thousand. Totally completely backfired in every possible way. At ang pinakamasakit, ang most devastating blow, ang tatay niya, si Manny Pacquiao himself, ay personally tumawag. JIMUEL, we need to talk. Seriously, come to the main house tomorrow afternoon 3 p.m. Don't be late. This is important. Ang tono ay disappointed more than angry, at disappointed ay infinitely mas masakit. Kasi disappointed means nag-expect si Manny ng better, ng higher standard, at nag-fall completely short si JIMUEL. At ang scheduled meeting na yan sa Pacquiao Mansion, sa family home, ay guaranteed na magiging serious confrontation, honest conversation na mag-force kay JIMUEL na harapin ang uncomfortable truths tungkol sa sarili niya, truths na ine-avoid niya for years. Kinabukasan, dumating si JIMUEL sa Pacquiao Mansion sa Forbes Park, Makati, ang sprawling multi-million peso property na naging family home nila for over a decade. Familiar territory, pero ngayon feeling hostile, parang enemy territory. Sinalubong siya ng household staff, yaya, driver, housekeeper, na awkward at uncomfortable ang trato, obviously aware ng viral drama at uncertain kung paano mag-react. Pumasok siya sa spacious living room na decorated with trophies, belts, photos from Manny's legendary career, constant reminders ng legacy na never niya ma-achieve. Nakaupo si Manny sa favorite chair niya, wearing simple plain white t-shirt at basketball shorts, ang usual relaxed attire niya sa bahay. Pero ang mukha ay serious, nakakabata ang jaw, ang legendary fighter's intensity clearly visible sa deep-set eyes na nakatingin directly kay JIMUEL. Sit down, anak, sabi ni Manny, voice calm pero firm, pointing sa sofa directly across from him. Si JIMUEL umupo, posture defensive, hands unconsciously fidgeting sa lap. Pa, before you say anything, gusto ko mag-explain first. No, You listen first, interrupted Manny, tone brooking no argument. Mas effective actually kasi controlled, measured, not shouting. What you did 2 days ago, yung Instagram post mo that went viral, was deeply disappointing to me. Not just dahil nag-create ng unnecessary public drama, although that's bad enough, embarrassing for the whole family, pero dahil it showed something about your character, something about who you are as a person, na I honestly hoped wasn't there. Inggit, kasamaan ng loob, pagiging bitter over someone else's success, especially family. Hindi naman talaga ako bitter, defended JIMUEL, voice shaking slightly. I was just frustrated, confused. Bakit ba si Eman ang napili ng major brand like Swatch? Ako ang may years of experience sa endorsements, may established social media following. I'm your legitimate acknowledged son. And there it is, interrupted Manny, leaning forward. Ang word na yan, legitimate. As if being born legitimate automatically makes you deserving of everything. As if circumstances of birth should determine opportunities. JIMUEL, I need you to understand something fundamental here. Yes, you are my legitimate son legally and socially. Yes, you grew up with tremendous advantages na hindi natanggap ni Eman. Financial security, education, connections, opportunities. Pero yun mismo ang point. Yun mismo ang irony. Yung advantages na yan was supposed to make you better, stronger, more confident, more secure in yourself. Instead, apparently ginawa kang deeply insecure at feeling entitled to things. Ang words ay cutting pero undeniably true, at alam ni JIMUEL yun somewhere deep inside, pero ang defensive pride niya ay hindi pa ready completely tanggapin ang truth. I'm not entitled pa. I worked hard din for my career. Did you really though? Challenged Manny directly, hindi aggressive pero questioning. Honestly, anak, let's talk real, walang filter. Yung modeling career mo, yung endorsements na meron ka currently, earned ba talaga yon purely on your own merit, on your talent at work ethic? Or partly, significantly, because of my name, my reputation, my connections opening doors for you automatically? Si JIMUEL wanted desperately to argue, to defend himself, pero couldn't. Because deep down, sa most honest part ng consciousness niya, alam niya ang uncomfortable truth. Meanwhile, si Eman, continued Manny, voice becoming more passionate, grew up without any support from me for majority of his life, without financial advantages, without educational opportunities, without industry connections, without name recognition helping him. At despite all those disadvantages, all those obstacles, nagbuild pa rin siya ng decent, dignified life through actual hard work. Nagwork siya ng multiple jobs simultaneously. Nag-aral kahit mahirap. Hindi nag-complain publicly kahit may legitimate karapatan siya to be angry, to feel abandoned. At ngayon na may opportunity na dumating sa kanya, opportunity na honestly earned niya through the genuine interest na na-generate ng inspiring story niya at ng strong character na consistently ipinakita niya, you resent him for it. You publicly tried to undermine his achievement. That's not just unfair, anak. That's wrong. That's beneath who you should be. Pero pa, protested JIMUEL, feeling increasingly defensive, voice rising, you don't understand completely what it's like for me, being constantly compared to him. Always yung narrative sa social media na si Eman mas humble, si Eman mas may substance, si Eman more relatable, si Eman better person. Parang lahat ng advantages na meron ako is systematically turned into disadvantage sa public perception. Parang kasalanan ko na ipinanganak ako sa privileged situation. Parang dapat ako mag-apologize for circumstances na hindi ko naman kontrolado. Manny's expression softened very slightly, showing glimpse of understanding. I understand that's genuinely painful. I do. Public comparisons are always hard, especially brutal sa social media age where everyone has platform to express opinions. Pero anak, ang solution, ang right response, ay hindi to tear down si Eman, to undermine his achievements, to express bitter jealousy publicly. Ang solution ay to build up yourself, genuinely, authentically. Not through connections or family name exploitation, pero through real work, Real achievement, real character development na independent from me. Madali para sa'yo sabihin yun pa, sabi ni JIMUEL, frustration bleeding through. You're a living legend. Everything you achieved was through your own talent, your own fists, your own determination. You built everything from absolute poverty. You're exceptional, 1 in a million. I'm just your son. Ordinary guy with famous father. I'll never be you. I can never match your achievements, that's impossible standard. Hindi kita hinihingi na maging ako, sabi ni Manny emphatically, voice strong. Hindi yun ang expectation ko or dapat expectation mo. Hinihingi kita na maging best version of yourself, whatever that means specifically for you. At yun ay absolutely hindi nangyayari kapag focused ka sa inggit, comparison, bitterness. Yun ay nangyayari kapag focused ka sa your own personal growth, your own unique path, your own authentic self. Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable silence. JIMUEL stared at his hands, emotions churning violently. Shame, anger, confusion, gradual acceptance. Alam niya deep down ang tatay niya ay fundamentally right. Pero fully accepting that meant admitting na mali siya, na wasted niya ang advantages, na kailangan niya mag-restart completely mentally at emotionally. Ano dapat kong gawin pa? Tanong niya finally, voice small, almost childlike, stripped of bravado. Realistically concretong steps? First, most important, talk to Emman directly, face to face, privately, man to man. Mag-apologize sincerely, genuinely, not yung half-hearted vague public apology mo na obviously PR move. Explain honestly what you were actually feeling. Yung insecurity, yung frustration, yung jealousy. Be vulnerable. Be real. Be honest. He's your brother, anak. Half lang ang shared blood pero brother pa rin fundamentally. Second, seriously reevaluate your current path. What do you actually want from life? Not what others expect from you. Not what looks impressive sa social media. Not what maintains family image. Pero what genuinely fulfills you as individual person. Third, work towards that identified goal with real, sustained effort. Prove to yourself primarily, not to me, not to public, pero to yourself, na you can achieve meaningful things through your own merit, your own work. Ang advice ay simple in concept, pero profound at challenging in execution. At alam ni JIMUEL na extremely difficult ang implementation, pero wala na siyang realistic choice kung gusto niyang makamove forward productively. I'll try pa. I promise I'll genuinely try. I'll reach out to Emman soon, talk properly. Good, that's what I want to hear. Gusto ko kayong okay ultimately. We're family, complicated and messy, man. At anak, one final important thing. Yes, pa? Be genuinely proud of who you are fundamentally. Legitimate son, privileged background, all the advantages, lahat yan. Those aren't things to be ashamed of inherently. Pero critically, don't let those circumstances be your entire identity, your only source of worth. Build something meaningful beyond just being Manny Pacquiao's son. Create your own legacy, however modest compared to mine. Yun ang real challenge. Yun ang worthwhile pursuit. Nag-leave si JIMUEL ng mansion that afternoon, feeling emotionally drained, exhausted, pero somehow paradoxically lighter, unburdened. Ang confrontation na kinatatakutan niya, na ini-avoid niya, ay turned out to be necessary, even healing intervention. At ngayon, facing ang specific next step, actually talking directly to Emman face-to-face, ay mas nakaka-nervous pa, more anxiety-inducing, pero absolutely kailangan, non-negotiable sa path forward. Nag-text siya kay Emman that same evening, brief, pero direct. Bro, pwede ba tayong mag-meet? Private, just the two of us. I think we seriously need to talk properly, clear the air. Ang reply ay dumating after approximately 10 minutes. Sure, kuya, absolutely. Coffee somewhere neutral? How about Starbucks sa Shangri-La Mall? 4 p.m. tomorrow if you're free. Perfect. See you there. Thanks. At buong gabi leading to next day, nag-prepare si JIMUEL mentally at emotionally. Ano exactly sasabihin niya? Paano niya i-explain authentically ang complex feelings without sounding completely pathetic? Paano niya i-express genuine apology without diminishing or invalidating ang legitimate hurt niya? Paano niya mag-start ng rebuilding relationship that was damaged before it even really began? Ang upcoming conversation na ito ay magiging absolutely defining moment ng relationship nila as brothers, half or otherwise. At ang outcome ay mag-determine ultimately kung mag-grow sila genuinely closer or remain permanently damaged, distant. At habang tumatagal ang oras leading up to scheduled meeting, si JIMUEL ay gradually nag-realize na ang real fear niya ay hindi simply about being vulnerable kay Emman. Ang deeper fear ay about confronting directly ang version ng sarili niya na reflected BR. Utali honestly sa perspective at implicit judgment ng kapatid niya. Kinabukasan, exactly 3:45 p.m., dumating si JIMUEL sa Starbucks branch sa ground floor ng Shangri-La Plaza Mall, deliberately arriving 15 minutes early para mag-settle, mag-compose, mentally prepare. Gusto niya established na siya, comfortable, before Emman arrives. Ordered siya ng grande caramel macchiato. His usual preference, umupo sa corner table na deliberately malayo sa potential eavesdroppers pero visible enough to see entrance. Ang kaba ay physically palpable, palms actively sweating, heart racing noticeably faster, rehearsed opening lines repeating obsessively sa utak. Sa exactly 4:02 p.m., pumasok si Emman through main entrance. Naka-simple, understated attire, plain white shirt, regular blue jeans, ordinary sneakers, walang designer brands, walang pa-VIP styling, walang entourage or handlers. Just regular guy entering coffee shop. Nakita agad ni JIMUEL siya at instinctively nag-stand up slightly, nag-wave to get attention. Si Emman spotted him, walked over, slight tentative smile. Body language somewhat guarded pero not hostile, more cautious. Kuya, bati ni Emman, extending hand formally for handshake. Si JIMUEL shook it firmly pero briefly, awkward pa rin. Emman, thanks for coming, appreciate it. No problem at all. Surprised lang slightly na nag-reach out ka directly after, everything that happened recently online. Umupo silang dalawa. Si Emman excused himself briefly to order iced Americano sa counter. Bumalik after few minutes. Initial silence, thick and uncomfortable. Small talk about traffic, weather, mundane things to break ice. Then JIMUEL decided internally to just dive directly into difficult topic, rather than prolonging awkwardness. Look, I'm just gonna be completely direct and honest. I owe you a real apology, a genuine one. Yung Instagram post ko the other day, that was absolutely out of line. It was petty, it was bitter, it was immature, and you absolutely didn't deserve that public attack. Si Emman nodded slowly, deliberately, sipping his coffee. I appreciate you actually saying that directly, face to face. Honest truth. It hurt significantly nung nakita ko yung post and realized it was clearly about me. Not dahil sa specific words mo pero dahil suddenly nag-realize ako na may deep resentment ka pala towards me. Up until then, akala ko okay tayo, Distant maybe dahil hindi naman tayo close pero civil and respectful at least. It's extremely complicated, sabi ni JIMUEL, carefully choosing words, trying to articulate complex emotions. It's not even fundamentally about you personally as individual person, kung logical kung susuriin. It's about everything surrounding the situation. Yung constant inevitable comparison between us by public. Yung feeling na despite literally all possible advantages na meron ako, parang ikaw pa rin consistently ang mas genuinely admired, respected by people. Yung dominant narrative na you're the humble, inspiring underdog, and I'm just the spoiled, privileged, rich kid. It got to me deeply. Accumulated over time, exploded. Kuya, I genuinely never actively wanted or cultivated that specific narrative intentionally, sabi ni Emman, tone sincere. Hindi ko directly controlled kung paano mag-react ang general public to our respective stories. I'm literally just living my life day by day, trying to survive financially, trying to make something decent of myself, despite very difficult start. Ang success, attention, opportunities na natatanggap ko recently, including controversial SWATCH endorsement, It's absolutely not designed or intended to compete with you directly. Hindi tayo dapat inherently in competition. We're supposed to be brothers, magkapatid. Half-brothers, corrected JIMUEL almost automatically, defensively, then immediately regretted saying it aloud. Sorry, I didn't mean to. No, it's completely fine, accurate naman, said Emman. Pero may subtle, undeniable hint ng hurt visible briefly sa eyes before controlled. You're technically correct. Half-brothers. Same biological father, different mothers, extremely different circumstances growing up. But still brothers in meaningful sense, right? Still family somehow? Si JIMUEL paused significantly, considering deeply. This was exactly heart ng fundamental issue. Does he genuinely consider Eman as real brother, legitimate family member, or just some guy na coincidentally shares DNA? Ang completely honest answer, nung pinag-isipan niya truthfully, ay far more complicated than simple yes or no. I genuinely want to consider you as real brother, sabi niya finally slowly. But I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, it's extremely hard emotionally. Kasi yung entire situation ng existence mo is inherently tied to yung infidelity ng papa natin, which deeply hurt my mom, which damaged our family significantly. So may persistent part ng consciousness ko na unconsciously resents your very existence, not dahil sa kung sino ka as person, pero dahil sa kung paano ka naging part ng complicated family story namin. Ang honesty na yon, brutal and potentially hurtful man, I clearly appreciated genuinely ni Eman based sa reaction. I completely understand that perspective legitimately. Trust me, I do. You think hindi constantly naisip throughout my entire life na ang existence ko is permanent reminder ng mistakes ng papa natin? Na I'm literal walking evidence ng betrayal against your mom, against your family unit? I carry that heavy guilt constantly, kuya. Kahit rationally hindi ko direct fault or choice. Constantly nafe-feel ko yung psychological weight nun. Ang vulnerability na yan, unexpected at raw, ay genuinely surprising. Si JIMUEL expected either defensive si Eman or angry at being questioned, pero instead honest at introspective, willing to acknowledge complicated dynamics. So realistically, paano tayo mag-move forward productively mula dito? Tanong ni JIMUEL. Honestly, I genuinely don't know kung may perfect answer or solution, admitted Emman. Pero maybe realistic start is simply being real, honest with each other consistently, like we're attempting now. Acknowledge openly yung complicated, messy feelings without pretending falsely they don't exist or don't matter. At maybe, gradually over time, recognize na we both have our own distinct, valid struggles. Yours is living up to impossible legacy ng papa, at dealing constantly with crushing pressure ng expectations. Mine is proving na worthy, deserving ako ng recognition, respect, despite illegitimate status. Different specific struggles, pero both genuinely valid, both genuinely difficult. Ang framing na yon, na both of them have legitimate struggles worthy of acknowledgement rather than competition, was significant perspective shift para kay JIMUEL. He'd been obsessively focused sa comparing superficial achievements na completely na-miss niya ang deeper, more meaningful similarities sa fundamental human struggles. About yung specific SWATCH endorsement, sabi ni Emman, deliberately shifting focus, I want you to know directly I absolutely didn't lobby actively for that or campaign against you specifically. They approached me proactively based primarily sa public interest na na-generate recently ng story ko, media coverage. But I genuinely understand emotionally kung bakit nakasakit sa'yo deeply. If roles were completely reversed, I'd probably honestly feel similarly hurt, rejected. Thanks for acknowledging that, sabi ni JIMUEL. At congrats, genuinely and sincerely. You deserve the opportunity, deserve the recognition. Ang words ay mostly sincere, kahit may persistent slight undercurrent ng pain. Progress, not perfection. Realistic expectation. Nag-continue silang mag-usap casually for another full hour plus. Lighter topics, family stuff, hobbies, interests, future plans. Ang initial thick barrier between them ay slowly, gradually dissolving, revealing na underneath all complications, relatively okay naman silang dalawa as individual people, potentially compatible even. By the end, nag-exchange sila ng legitimate direct contact info, agreed explicitly to keep communication lines open consistently, at even tentatively, cautiously planned to maybe hang out again soon, more casually, less heavy. Nag-leave si JIMUEL ng coffee shop meeting na yon feeling significantly better. Hindi completely resolved ang absolutely lahat, hindi totally nawala ang lahat ng deep-seated insecurity, pero may genuine sense ng closure at possibility, hope, at critically realized niya na ang real laban niya ay hindi fundamentally with Emman personally, ang true laban niya ay with himself, with his own persistent sense ng inadequacy, entitlement, lack of clear direction. At ang realization na yon, uncomfortable and challenging man, ay essential first step towards actual meaningful growth. Habang nag-drive siya pa uwi, deliberately nag-reflect deeply siya sa recent conversation with father, at with half-brother, at mentally formulated concrete plan, dedicated time to seriously re-evaluate ang current career trajectory, actively find authentic passion beyond exploiting family name, consciously build something genuinely his own through sustained effort, at most importantly and fundamentally, define personal success strictly on his own internal terms rather than in constant comparison sa achievements ng iba. Pero ang journey na yon, alam niya realistically, ay long, difficult, uncertain, at tested din immediately. Kasi the very next week, another potential trigger, si Eman, publicly announced exciting partnership with another major brand, this time established sports apparel company. At ang initial instinct, automatic reaction ni JIMUEL, familiar resentment rising again, jealousy threatening to resurface. Pero this time, instead of immediately posting publicly or stewing privately, he consciously took deep breath, deliberately paused, messaged Emman directly, privately. Congrats bro on the new partnership deal. Genuinely happy and proud of you. You're killing it. At meant it mostly, sincerely. Baby steps towards genuine fraternal support. At ang response ni Eman, thanks so much kuya. Means genuinely a lot coming directly from you. Let's celebrate properly sometime soon. Ay validation na ang damaged relationship nila ay slowly, gradually healing. Possibility of actual brotherhood emerging. Ang continuing journey ni JIMUEL from bitter resentment towards grudging acceptance towards potential genuine brotherhood with Emman ay definitely ongoing, perpetually complicated, absolutely not linear or smooth. May good days na okay completely siya. May difficult days na bumabalik partially ang inggit, insecurity. Pero ang most important thing, fundamental difference, ay conscious, sustained effort towards being better, towards personal growth, towards becoming version ng himself na genuinely proud siya, maging beyond just convenient label ng anak ni Pacquiao. At sa challenging process na yon, gradually nag-discover siya ng universal truth applicable sa virtually lahat, na ang real, meaningful competition ay absolutely hindi with other people externally. Ang true competition ay with yourself internally, with your own limitations, fears, insecurities, at ang exact moment na fully ma-realize mo at genuinely accept yun, tsaka ka lang mag-start ng authentic, sustainable progress towards becoming best version ng person na dapat at pwede mong maging. At ang valuable lesson na yon, learned painfully through public embarrassing drama at subsequent private honest introspection, ay magiging solid foundation ng significantly better, more authentic version ni JIMUEL moving forward into uncertain but hopeful future.